In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 tips on how to look after yourself energetically this whole month. By the way, if you're new to this, firstly, a huge welcome. And my name is Supriya, and every month I release a monthly energy management tips podcast to help soul-led entrepreneurs and sheroes just like yourself to navigate uncertainty with wisdom for your mind and your life. So if you're into that stuff, stick around. I've got 3 amazing tips for you with a little bit of insight on what's happening astrologically, happening seasonally, as well as the mental and behavioral side of things, what can be expected during this month of October. Before we start today, I just want to mention that I am growing a place for free on Facebook for us to hang out. You can find the link in the description box below. And in this group, I'll be sharing what has worked for me and others that I work with about helping raise self-awareness and self-knowledge to create the life of our dreams. If this is something that you love and want more help with, please come and join us. We'd love to learn from you as well. And if you're into self-knowledge, I really want you in that group. I really am welcoming all people that are like-minded. A safe place for us to commune and have healthy discussions. All things are welcome about raising self-knowledge, and I'll be sharing with you tips and tools there, which I don't share here on. Have you been experiencing a little bit of pressure to perform lately? And have you been hearing yourself say, just push through, you'll be right, just push through? Or maybe you're a bit like me, feeling like you're running out of time. Have you felt that anxiety build up in you quite easily this month? Well, in this episode, I just want to share with you that last year I was in the same place and I was listening to Brendon Burchard, and he mentioned that there are 2 times in the year that we are always prone to getting anxious, and they're March and October. And what he said was it just really made sense for me, and I think it's going to make sense for you too. March, because we've just come out of Christmas and we didn't rest up, and therefore we just rushed through the New Year's and we hit that fatigue point in March. And then about October, because we're kind of like just come out of the first quarter after the financial year begins, and this is when our year is about to finish, and so everybody's in a rush to wrap things up and get things done. And there is this natural tiredness that comes about that we try to cover up, and so we are more prone to burnout at this time as well. So lots of people will go into their Christmas holidays feeling really tired and burnt out because of this. Why should this matter to you and me, people like us? It's because if you're leading a community like I am, it could be your family, friends, colleagues, team. You are the voice. You are the voice that guides them to keep going. And when they naturally want to, have a rest, slow down, and lose momentum in the, direction of their goals. So you're not supposed to do this alone though. So make sure you surround yourself with good leaders that will do the same for you. Like for me, Brendon was the voice last year. And for the last 16 years, I've been surrounding myself with thought leaders, gurus, and experts that really talk about sustainable energy, good business habits and ethics, and also just learning about health and vitality in general. Because as women also, we tend to be overgivers. We tend to have certain traits that are conditioned into us. And if you're anything like me, you'll also resonate with that. You used to tick with the time that's on the clock, and now you're just like, man, there are not enough hours in the day for me to get everything done. If you feel like that, then you're already prone to overworking. And I just want to bring you back to the beginning of all self-care, which is slow things down. So Brendon, going back to Brendon, he was my first performance coach. And what resonated with me was that he shares natural principles of Ayurveda. He doesn't even know it. So I love Brendon Burchard. I hope he's watching. Hi, Brendon. Someone asked me how do you do these tips, Supriya? And I just wanted to share with you, if you are curious too, you could start doing these energy management tips for yourself and your clients, because if you've been working with a coach and a mentor, then you've been learning some systems. Like I did, I've been learning systems from other people who have helped me develop a relationship with my inner guidance. And so what these energy management tips are is really coming from frameworks and sciences that I have been mentored and coached on, and that's how I actually do these reports, right? So this is what I love doing naturally. It comes naturally to me because I've actually lived it and I live it, and it's a part of my life. I've developed the eyesight for it. I've developed my senses for it, and it comes naturally to me now. But at the beginning, how it started was I started with a mentor for personal development. Then I started to learn yoga. Then I started to learn Ayurveda. Then I started to coach, right? And every science gave me frameworks and systems that helped me understand how to manage my energy most efficiently. And because obviously I've been consulting people, I've been seeing clients, these are the things I've learned, and there is a system to this chaos, right? Actually a part of the ecology of natural sciences that help us determine what course of action to take to minimize wastage of energy, to optimize our brain function, our body's function, and our business performance and our life performance. So there are three main sciences, as I shared, that I base my tips on, and they are astrology. Every month there is a new moon and full moon, and the moon cycles really affect us in the way we are conducting ourselves. Secondly, every month with the planetary movements are also affecting the flavor the moon cycles take. So that's to do with astrology, and that's how astrology affects the human mind and body. Second, Ayurveda. Ayurveda looks at the dominant elements that are affecting our digestion, nervous system, as well as our way of life, right? Our diet and needs during each season. So there are 4 quarters in a year, and every quarter has its own dominant element that is kind of pushing us and pulling on us in a physical, mental, emotional way. And human behavioral sciences tell us about how to navigate and set ourselves up for success based on our goals. Because if we're not looking after ourselves, there's a reason why we're not doing it. I mean, it took me a very long time to actually start putting my knowledge into practice in my own life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I walk my talk, but it's taken me a while to do that. And it took me to work on my personal alignment to be able to follow through with what I believe is right for me. So there's a conditioning of the mind, that there's a mind mastery aspect that needs to happen to be able to follow through with what we know to be right for us. So that's the human behavioral side of things. And I also share about that because when we are doing well with our lifestyle, we are having good energy, and that's going to show through in our business, in our relationships and career and health. It's going to just show because it's all in our minds, right? If our mind is right, everything is right. So these monthly energy management tips are that I'm listening to my mentors and leaders, and I'm sharing it on with you in my own way. I'm really just sharing with you what my understanding is by implementing what my mentors and leaders tell me. And I'm also being a voice for the community that's listening to me at this moment. Okay, so how do we navigate this coming month? Who wants to hear that? So here are my 3 tips for the coming month. Are we ready? Tip number 1 is this: in the southern hemisphere, it's the rainy season. And what the rainy season brings is an ability to focus, deep focus. But it won't be so if we are always tired. So it's really important to go right to the cause of tiredness, which is lack of rest, right? If you're not getting quality sleep, guys, that's your goal. Work on your sleep. Quality of sleep will result in better quality energy the next day. Better quality energy will give you the amazing self-awareness and cognition, which is going to help you with your productivity. Tip number 2 is do less. You must develop the skill of being productive. So productivity is not doing more. It's doing less of all the things that you shouldn't be doing and focusing on the meaningful things you should be doing. So if you find yourself that you have no structure to your work days, that's something you need to work out, because you're spending energy, and if there's energy leaks happening, then you're definitely going to suffer in the long run. This quarter is going to be really draining for you, and especially this month, like I mentioned, seasonally, we are going to feel drowsy in the rainy season, and it's the kapha season in Ayurvedic terms, where water element is higher. So even if you're up north in the southern hemisphere and you have a lot of sunshine, there's still this density in the air, and this is part of seasonal change. So even if you think that, oh, it's sunshine and I'm not affected, but it is. So you need to be aware of this and also work on your energy in this way, that you have a structured approach to your working day, where you are working on things that are meaningful and delegating, or just, getting rid of all the things that you shouldn't be doing. Like, who can think of one? Put it in the comments below. I bet you scroll in your breaks, and I bet that you don't time yourself, and I bet you spend longer than you have to on things because you've got the time. So I want to give you permission today to work less and enjoy more of your excess time doing whatever the hell you like, so that you can be proud that you're being productive with your time. You're not a slave, you mean to work to live, not live to work. Tip number 3 is be really goal driven. Do you know your goals? Do you know how many people think they know their goals? Oh, I want to make more money. Oh, I want to get a better job. Oh, I want to move house. Oh, I want this new thing. They're not goals. They're just aspirations. They're just wishes. Okay, so if you know your goal, then you would know your boundaries, because someone that is goal oriented, they will always be very protective over their time, their energy, their thought, their emotions, because those are all gateways of our energy having a chance to be expressed, and we don't just let it out on anything. We put it towards things that matter. Especially when it comes to living a life that you love living, you get really precious about yourself and your time and the way you spend your time and day. In October, you need to be mindful of this, because we're at the last quarter of the year. And if you're not working on your main goals and you're working on finishing up things that are not meant to be your focus, then you need to sit down with a coach and work out your goals. Because, so many times I hear this, right? That, oh, it just happened. I had no control over it. You did have control over it. And the reason why you didn't say no is because you don't know how to say no. And that shows me, if I was your coach, that shows me that you don't know how to say no. And that shows me that your boundaries are very low or none at all. If you had alignment with your goals, if you had clarity of your goals, you would know exactly what needs to happen today. So you would know, before even starting the day, you would know what you're going to say yes to and what you're going to say no to. In fact, the more successful you get in life, you get to say more no's. The less successful you are, meaning the further away you are from your goal, the more you need to say no. So basically, the 3 tips this month is an alignment to where we are energetically this month. And in this scheme of the whole year, October is the start of a whole new quarter. And it is starting off in the southern hemisphere with the water element being high. So it's really good for productivity, but it also makes you drowsy if you are already tired and not looking after your energy as well as you should. You're not doing your exercise, you're not doing your diet, and you're not doing your sleep correctly. Then you're going to suffer putting that energy or using that energy in the season to good use. Also, if you'd like to learn more about good sleep, there are some videos over in this corner that I've linked for you. Go ahead and watch that. It's all about Ayurveda and how it looks at getting good quality sleep. What I share with you here is to do with understanding yourself as energy, and that way you get to address the root cause of poor sleep rather than just trying to do the superficial stuff like get darker curtains, etc., etc. And you need to work on productivity, skill building, because a lot of us think that productivity is doing more, but it's actually doing less, but more of the right things. So if you're not working on your needle movers at this month, then it says something about you, and that is you don't know your goals. If you are not working on your goals only, then you need to sit down with a coach, because they'll help you work out what you need to do every single day instead of getting distracted by, ad hoc stuff coming in. I love the fact that you're a yes person, but in this time of the year, we don't take on new things. We're actually trying to move forward on things that we need to finish because a brand new year is about to start. If you're in business, you have to have plans, a yearly plan, 3-yearly plan, and a 5-year plan, because you've got to think like a farmer. If you're in business, if you don't think like a farmer, then guess what? You're not going to get the crops next season. So that's how a farmer thinks. A farmer thinks for the season that comes next. So their planning is always long-term planning, and their behavior is also long-term behaviors, sustainable behaviors. So I want you to consider that, because this is October, and if you haven't got those skills, like the productivity skills, there might be a reason why you don't have that skill. Maybe you think that productivity means that, in this working day, I want to see how many things I can get done because I procrastinate. Well, perhaps you're, averse to productivity because you've been procrastinating, and your procrastination leads to a bottleneck feeling, or like you're always putting out fires. So that's not the life of a productive person. A productive person has a clear set of, tasks, but they also minimize these tasks to like maximum 3 important prioritized tasks a day, so that it's not about doing more with your time. Rather, you're doing quality work and the work that has most meaning to you in that day, and actually getting it done too. You get me? So allow yourself to figure this out, because if you're within like a time of your life and your business where you want to get out of the reaction type of life, then these are the skills you need to develop. And October presents this quite well, because you're going to head into the holidays. You want to be really nicely prepared. You want that next year to be looking really good for you. And the kapha seasons are really good for that. It's great for developing productivity, because one of the other things that I've noticed during summer or autumn or winter, so productivity in summer and autumn, what happens is, because the energy is very light, you'd want to be moving around, right? This is why most of your focus work needs to be done during the times where everybody's sleeping or everybody's resting. Not many people are moving around. So think about that, because it's something I learned quite late in life. I used to always think like, why can't I focus? Why can't I go outside? Why can't I focus? I really just want to go and play outside. But the whole thing is, the quieter months that are like the winter and the rainy season, what we do then, even if it's not raining, there's an energy present there to help us be more grounded, and we can use that to our advantage, so that the more lighter months we get to socialize and interact and network and do all that energizing stuff. Okay, so to sum it up, every year you must get clear of your goals, your KPIs and benchmark. Every quarter you must check with yourself and coordinate where you're at with those goals that you set. And what 99% of your clients are doing is they're treating themselves like workhorses. So you need to be a voice in their ears to lead them to manage themselves this way, so they start thinking like farmers and they start to work more effectively and efficiently, rather than hitting burnout or, always prone to burnout and never getting anywhere. We're not just talking about, when we're talking about getting anywhere, we're not really talking about getting results only. It's a quality of life too, wouldn't you agree? So if you're someone who is trying to empower others, you have to and you should remind your people the 3 principles that I shared today: goals, productivity, and good quality rest. You are so awesome. I just want to say thank you so much for always being the person that you are, not giving up on your personal development and wanting to be that leader for yourself and others. Remember, if nobody's acknowledged you, I'm acknowledging you. A big heart going out to you. Thank you so much for being here. Also, don't forget the doors to my Empowered You program is now officially open to qualified clients. So if you'd like to learn more, make sure you look down below in the description section to connect with us and book in a clarity call with me. And in the meantime, join my Facebook group, where I'll be sharing monthly trainings to help you raise your consciousness and your self-knowledge to help you create the life of your dreams. Okay, so till next time, my friend, take care and see you next month at the Energy Management Tips podcast. And for my YouTube family, I'll see you next week.